everybody, it's week 23 of the vlog and we have some exciting progress for you. The builders are actually here right now, so it's a bit noisy inside, so we're going to do the majority of it out here and then I'll clip in clips of what it's like inside, just because they're chopping up wood and putting doors up and things. We just had Miles's parents and sister around. They had a little walk around, which is really fun when people can actually come and see it. They were like, oh well, we've seen it all in the vlog, so actually it's not that surprising, which is interesting. I'm glad that we can show it well. So we've met a couple of plasterers and we're going to get that booked in as soon as possible to get the rest of the house sorted out.
So the reason why we're trying to find another plasterer is because the builders were hired to get it to first fix and they've done an amazing job at that, but we're kind of just remembering that we have to do everything onwards from there. So they've put in a floor and they've plastered and they've put in all our plumbing and our electrics, done all this amazing stuff, and now we're going, oh fuck, we need to
it's
actually
over to
finish
us.
it. Yeah.
I'm scared.
So the plaster's probably gonna, in the back 2 bedrooms, we're gonna get them to just skim it because the builders will have put up some plasterboard. The rest of the rooms, there's quite a lot to do. They're gonna have to take off the existing plaster because most of it's blown, and then put on the plasterboard and skim it, and you've got to do the ceilings. And
it doesn't actually take them that long, but it is a hell of a lot of work. It's quite messy work. He had said that we could do the taking off of all the plaster, which I have seen a lot of people online do. But he said it would be about like £400 or £500 for like a couple of rooms, and I was like, in terms of how long it would take us and how much aggro it would be, I'd rather spend the money on that than have to do it ourselves and scrimp elsewhere, because it's just, that is heavy work. It's like moving this pile of rubble. Like, as much as we could do it, can you imagine how many days that would take? I'm not up for it.
It's not worth it.
We are not manual labour people. I will do DIY, but like physical heavy lifting, I try and avoid if I can.
But basically, we're about to begin the second fix, which is going to be all us. And not necessarily us in terms of we're actually going to be doing the work ourselves, but we're going to have to be finding various people to do various bits. And in my mind, even though I knew this wasn't true, I thought when the builders are done, we're done.
That was the original plan,
very
but
much
here we are.
not the case.
To be fair, we are getting close. So the builders, just for a bit of context, they will be plastering the kitchen, utility, both bathrooms were already plastered, and they did a few patchwork things in the hallway. And then otherwise, that's pretty much it. They are plasterboarding the back 2 bedrooms and the cupboards upstairs, which I'll put some clips in of as well, because it's starting to come together now, which is great. But otherwise, we're having to do the rest of the plastering. By we mean somebody else. And then what else are they doing? Oh yeah, they're getting 2 bathrooms done. Well, 3 bathrooms done, and so 2 full-on bathrooms and then the downstairs loo, which should be done in the next couple of weeks, at least one of them. I think Greg is our amazing plumber. He is planning on getting it done in the next 3 weeks, and it will be all of them. It's the tiling that is the really difficult bit. So we're getting that done, but that will show some amazing progress. And then after that, we'll get that's an idea. We've changed our plan. So originally, we were going to move in and get like a sort of camping kitchen set up and things, but we'd have the bathrooms, and we were going to move into the front bedroom, that big one with the curved bay. But what we've actually decided to do is move into the back bedrooms. They're smaller, they have normal size windows, so I can get normal curtains that are much easier, and we can just get them plastered, and it's a bit more away from everything else. The front bedroom as well isn't getting new windows yet because of the wood frame and aluminium and all that stuff. Let me know in the comments if you want me to go into detail on that, because I can give a whole update on that maybe next week. There's a lot to the windows, so that's something. And we are getting all new windows everywhere else in the house in a couple of weeks' time. It's going to take him a few weeks because he's doing it over the weekend, but they get delivered when we're back from our holiday, because we're away next week. So I don't know when this is actually going to go out. I'm hopeful that I can edit it this week, but I'm not putting too much pressure on myself because it's our first holiday since I started posting this.
Make a wish. No.
Can't tell you what it is, but I think you can guess. The reason that we're trying to get a different plasterer in is because we pay our builder extra to organise everything for us. And although he's been brilliant, we can't really afford that. So every little helps is to try and make it a bit better. I feel that we can do the plastering. He's still getting some like brickwork done for our fireplace, which maybe I'll talk through that actually. I haven't talked about that in a while. So I'll put up a clip of what I made it was on ChatGPT and Canva and that, of our fireplace. And basically my idea that Miles is up for is we're going to tile the whole thing, floor to ceiling, in Zalige tiles, which I'm really excited for, but it means that we need to have a solid mantelpiece. And because we're getting a wood burner, it needs to be non-combustible. So we've had to get them to build it out of bricks. It hasn't been made yet, but I'm hoping that'll happen next week, which is really exciting. I can't wait for that. Another thing that's happened is they've started to get rid of this pile of rubble, which I know seems silly, but this here took him a whole day and he's done his shoulder in, so fair play to the lad.
It was about here.
Yeah.
And stacked maybe this high. So a lot of it is gone. This is probably, well, it's more than half he's got rid of.
Yeah, it's very impressive, and I do not envy him for having to do that. And then Charlie's also taking these away today. So we're going to get a bit more of a garden back. It's still a mess, but at least we'll have like an empty space here. Yeah, so that's where we are with all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Should we do a quick walk around and see what we can film? It's a bit noisy, so we'll see. I might have to do a
Mic's
voiceover.
off.
Yeah, let's see. One day we'll have steps here.
So, you've seen this. This is all plastered.
The doors are new.
There are doors. Doors that also fit and swing really nicely.
Something that is annoying though is that I should have like stripped these before we did this, but whatever, that's a problem for future Meg.
So this is soon to be plastered.
Yeah, this is next, I think. Miles' dad found it very funny that I corrected him on on this, but this pipe doesn't quite fit underneath the plasterboard, and it does still have live gas in it. So what we've decided to do, and by we I mean me and Greg, is not plaster around it, leave it open, and then I'm gonna get, I don't know if you guys have ever seen like an empty electrical panel. Like an empty electrical panel that you put over the top of like holes in the wall. We're going to do that because then we can still access it. Actually, I want to tell you something about this. So I got a comment last week on the YouTube, which I thought was amazing and it made me so happy. So thank you for commenting. I'll put it up now. But it seems like they had the same thing as us, where the gas meter got taken out, but it cost like £1.5 to get the whole pipe taken out and capped off at the road. But they did what we did. They left it there, whatever. And then the gas people came around like a year later and went, you haven't had a meter for a year, so we have to take it out and we'll do it for free. So hopefully that is what happens to us as well, and we can just leave it there. But I didn't want to plaster in that pipe because that might happen. There's gas in there. Who knows? Maybe we'll drill into it one day by accident, you know, or somebody will. So I was like, let's make it so it's obvious there's something inside there so we don't gas ourselves, because there is still live gas in the wall. But I was very excited about that, so thank you for that comment. It made us feel lots better. Got another door as well. So Rob, who actually I now know watches the vlog, so hi Rob, has been doing our doors. Haven't got the latch on the other side of that yet, but there's one here as well. It's quite weird. He's flipped them all round, which has been an absolute ball ache, so very much appreciate that. But we're trying to keep these handles everywhere. So that's another thing I've been doing this week, is sorting out the handles. I've made this whole spreadsheet because you need handles, you need latches, you need hinges, you need catches, you need locks, all various things with different things in the house, which I didn't really think about, but they were like, Meg, we need them now. So I was like, okay, well, I'll see if I can find some more of these because we've got a few mismatched ones. And they're really expensive because I think these are original to the house, or at least equivalent ones are. There's brass ones and there's not brass ones. But I went onto Facebook Marketplace and I got some of my Ello sportswear. This is the bag that she gave it to me in, but she's given me. I found these. It's 6 sets of these amazing brass knobs that I need to get sorted out and tied up for £45, which is very cheap considering one set of these ones I saw on eBay for like at least 50 quid, if not 100. So they're ebony, and then I don't know if these ones are brass. Well, that one is, yeah. So they're ebony and brass.
Are they ebony?
Yeah. At least I think so. That's what they call them online.
Poor elephant.
Oh no, wood.
That's wood.
Ebony wood.
It's an ebony elephant tusk. Yeah, ebony's white.
Oh, I mean wood. Ebony's a colour of a type of wood as well, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, I actually don't know. I'd be saying that, and that's what I've searched on Google, like on eBay. Maybe that's why it's so expensive, but maybe they're like walnut or something. I'll have to look that up. Anyway, but yeah, so we've got 6 sets of those, and I'm going to put the brass ones on the double doors in here and here. So in these ones, I might do a voiceover for this.
Yeah.
This is not the builder's fault. This is our fault for being away. Alright, so it turns out that you could actually hear me, so maybe I should have just carried on with this, but I am just talking about how we decided to put on a new type of door on these doorways. I'll put up a thing from Pinterest now that I saw, but basically the panelling in this hallway I want to extend around onto this wall to kind of hide these doors. We said last week that we have basically door soup. There are too many doors in this hallway, and our friend Andrew has asked for a shout out, so it is a bit less meaningful, but I am shouting him out again because he was sassy with me. But we are putting in 2 hidden-ish doors. They're not going to be completely hidden, you'll still have handles and stuff, but visually it won't be 2 extra doorways. So what we're doing is we're going to have pivot doors. So The problem that we had is that because we've got underfloor heating, we couldn't put a screw in the floor. So it's actually going to be hanging and like resting on the concrete floor, and then it'll pivot on the top of the door frame, which is pretty exciting. I think that is a good overview, and back to the vlog. Do you want to go up your new loft hatch?
Yeah, right. Oh, hello. Maybe jump there. I was just looking up here. This is a great loft hatch, by the way.
Yeah. Depends how insulated you want it. But
Yeah.
It's a minimum of that.
Yeah. And then boards on top of that.
All right, that is that. We shall see how that turns out with my voiceover, because we couldn't record quite a lot of that because they were cutting up doors and putting things up.
Really loud.
Quite noisy in there, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any questions at all, please do let us know. We are now away for a week, so we are going to have a bit of a shock when we get back. Yeah. Annoyingly though, Greg has had to go on to a different project, so we will not have a big change on the bathrooms.
It would be that big of a shock.
But still, they will have done all of the plasterboarding, and they will have done more plastering and a few more bits and pieces, and all the doors will be up. We're already halfway through the doors, which is so good. Anyway, we'll have talked about that in the vlog.
Yeah.
So yeah, hope you have a good week, and we'll see you next week.
We're off to Stockholm for a week, and also Portugal to go to a friend's wedding.
Yeah.
But whilst we're away, make sure that you like, you subscribe, and also
Don't be a
ding
dick.
the bell.